Hello 405, this is JangoFett 140, showing you some of the stuff I got going for my June whip for the Halo Reach release. Just got done fiberglassing some more parts today. Got my knees, the back sides of the boot, helmet attachment, forearm add-on, my thighs, shoulders. Rising the torso one's going to add another layer. Had some problems. I had a major breakdown for some reason. All this here, that seam, and then all there along this ridge, all came unglued partly, and some back down in here. Well, putting on the first layer of resin, so I had to try to glue it all back together, and so it got misshapen. So these parts and this underside I added a second, or built a second set, glued the two sets together, gave it shape again, but I never really finished properly giving the outside a good fiberglass coat. So I'm gonna add a little bit more there. Inside the workshop, now have drill press. Haven't really had a good chance to use it yet, but very excited for prop building purposes. This is also kind of tour of my workshop. Still needs some tweaking, but this is an old vacuum motor that vents outside. I'm eventually going to drill holes in this, so if I'm sanding here, it'll be able to suck it up. Then I have a hose. The only problem is this thing is really loud right now, so I don't really use it much. And I like to work at night, so it's not very neighbor friendly. Got a shin, forearm, some other random pieces, hand plates. Another part of my shin. Got my cod piece, which I cut off about, I would say about this much on every side. I think like 2 centimeters. So every part got cut down 4 centimeters to, there you can kind of see it's, so it would fit me, because for this to be close to the right length, it had to be super fat, and I'm a very, very skinny boy. Then my camera just shut off for some odd reason. Anyway, my helmet. Spending a lot of time. I'm almost done doing the smoothing. I got to smooth out this little bit here, both sides, and then it's pretty much ready for wet sanding, which I'm gonna do later tonight, and it's gonna get painted up. It's pretty much done on the Bondo work. Started doing the rough sanding and cleanup of the attachments. Got the right attachment. I'm gonna put bolts in here. I think that's how I'm gonna attach it. I'm just gonna bolt it on. Using liquid hardener, cream hardener caps for the moment. May switch it out. This one, I'm looking at installing a camera from a old cell phone in here. Just throw the guts in there. Don't know if I'll ever really record with it much, simply because I don't know if I'll be able to easily set up a way to just record and stuff from there. Got the helmet, the visor's in. Doing the cleanup detail on the vents here. They're slotted behind the strips of wood, so you don't see the vent holes themselves. I'm going to put the PSP fans in there. I screwed the visor in. Bolt comes in. I almost had a problem. The original bolts were too close together and my head did not fit. So I cut them down, dropped off a washer, dropped off a nut, and it just barely fits. It kind of actually holds the helmet in place on my head once they're padded. So it isn't painful or anything, but it works pretty well. Got my cod cut up into the 8 pieces. My belt should be here hopefully by this weekend. If not, it'll be here Monday. And I can bolt that together. I'm going to go with 8 sections. This time I decide again. Looking at trying to find a way to make these pouches again. With my other suit, it would just kind of fold down off the belt, would randomly pop off. Kind of an afterthought, trying to come up with a better way to do that, but don't know if I'll have time for reach. Got my torso. The back would not dry. The fact it's still slightly tacky. Would not, after I added a second layer of resin, it just would not dry for anything. I don't know if I didn't put enough hardener in or what, so tonight I just took some of my extra straight hardener, squirted it on a brush, brushed it on, let it sit with the heater for a while, and then got Bondo dust on it to take some of the tack off, and it seems to be hardening up now somewhat, still a little tacky in places, but I'll Bondo it up tomorrow and it won't really matter anymore. So most of my pieces now have Bondo on them, and apparently my shoulders got bumped together and are now one. So, guess I get to de-Bondo my shoulders apart tomorrow. Oh, there we go. A little patchwork to do there now. But got Bondo on, haven't started the rough sanding. Bondoed up the forearm attachment tonight. Started cleaning that up just a little bit. And then got the rough sand, got most of the rough sanding done on one of my hips. Still a lot of cleanup work to do. Gotta finish rough sanding this part. Been kind of hopping all over the place. I ran out of little Dremel sanding wheels, the small ones tonight, so just kind of been limiting what I can do. Still getting over being sick earlier this week, so I cough randomly. Got the kneecaps, different boot pieces. Got my hand plates here, just done the rough sanding so far. Still need to do some cleanup work. On these, here we have my BR. I did this in the spring when I needed something to do, which is bored. Did some pep work. It's been crushed about 3 times. Kind of did my deform, but finally decided to resin it up, see if I can't make it look half decent with some Bondo work. Won't be done for reach probably, but I had some extra resin that was sitting there and I needed to use up quickly. So I just poured it inside and then brushed some on the outside later. Meg needs some more reinforcement work, still pretty flimsy. And that's pretty much it. Have not made any more progress on my forearms. I did rebuild the forearm attachment piece so that it fit with the iPod better. See how that it was a little small for when once it got hardened, it didn't flex enough like it does when it's paper and the iPod didn't fit. So I built a bigger one. I added a button area for the home button. So this one will fit a little better. I think I'm going to hinge it in the back. Have some kind of a clasp, so I haven't quite figured that out. But so depending on how it goes, I may remove some of this detailing work here, kind of hack this up for running the wires and other stuff, since this will be covering it up. I'm not too worried about it, since I won't ever be switching out to a different Spartan, I don't think. And if I do, I can just build a new forearm. So that's about all I got for tonight. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more updates. Halo Reach coming out in just a few more weeks. See y'all then. Bye.